Greetings. I'm Anita Belle, president of the Reparations Labor Union, Melanin Biotech Productions, and creator of Exodus to Mars. I speak today in my personal capacity as a Black woman in America. Disclaimer, all views and opinions are my own. Lately, I've been using comedy to discuss hard topics. One such topic is genocide. There's nothing funny about Black genocide until I say we can undo it with polygamy reparations. Somebody suggested rebranding reparations to make whites feel less guilty, so here we go. Somewhere along the way, I heard that in marketing, sex sells. So to keep whites from feeling guilty about committing Black genocide, I'm rebranding reparations as Sexy Reparations. Let's talk about polygamy. I'm your host, the Vindictive Comedienne. Of course, to clean it up for children, I'm calling reparations a love story. Now turn off the video and put the children to bed. The rest of this podcast is for grown folks only. Sexy Reparations is a comedy show. Here's the first joke. White supremacy is a lie that can be summed up into 2 words. Penis envy. Just let that sink in. For hundreds of years, white men rigged this planet so that its wealth is concentrated into their little hands. Yet with all their money, with all their power, they're still jealous of the Black man. He's Black, uneducated, afraid, in jail or prison, maybe even sick. White men ask, I've got all the money. I made sure he has absolutely nothing. What does he have that I don't have? What can you possibly see in him? And Black women started laughing. And some white women. And some men. Slavery was based on partus sequitur ventrum, a Roman law that means that which comes out of the womb follows the womb. This means if your mama was a slave, you're a slave. In my humble opinion, the transatlantic sex slave trade, oops, did I say that? Sex slave trade, was based on enslaving Black women and raping Black women because we laughed at white men. In Sexy Reparations, Blacks have already had the last laugh about penis envy and womb envy. In America, there's not enough Black men for every Black woman. Suppose you're a Black woman whose sexual preference is a Black man. Not a white man. Not a woman of any race. Even your sex toys are Black males. You were brought up to believe that if you delayed childbearing until marriage, then married a man from college, these Black women, college-educated Black women, expected to be married to a college-educated Black man. Or at least a Black man who graduated from high school. Well, in 9th grade, when most folks are about 14 years old, the number of Black boys to Black girls is 1-to-1. But by the time that Black girl graduates high school around 4 years later, by the time she's about 18, the majority of her Black male classmates have dropped out due to joining gangs or going to prison. If it wasn't for sports, how many Black men would graduate high school, let alone go to college? The school to prison pipeline is real, y'all. Unless a Black girl meets, marries, and has children with the love of her life by the age of 14, or unless she marries outside of her race or finds a Black man from the Caribbean or Africa. And trust me, there's a competition for male resources over there too. But maybe she's a rich Black lesbian that can afford artificial insemination and in vitro fertilization. But unless that Black woman falls in those 3 categories, or 4, depending on how you talk about it, then she has a chance, 86% chance of being childless and unmarried. There are 88 black men for every black woman. That's just straight statistics with its own musical chairs, but around the college educated, it's an even more striking disparity. There are 7 black women for every college-educated black man, and this means that college-educated black women expecting to be married to the same man for the rest of their life and have his babies have an 86% chance of being disappointed. By comparison, there are nearly as many white males as there are white females, but even white women are graduating college more often than white men. But back to us. Today, black women are the most college-educated group in America. Statistically, most college-educated black women who follow the white Christian belief of delaying childbearing to pursue an education don't reap the same rewards as most college-educated white women. Most college-educated black Christian women aren't rewarded for their self-discipline with a lifetime of monogamy to a middle-class, college-educated black man. No, sadly, college-educated black women understand these lonely statistics, and they're not funny, especially on Saturday nights. Some black girls get pregnant while a teenager. Some black women get pregnant while unmarried. Black men are deemed unfaithful cheaters and deadbeat dads under a white Christian genocide conspiracy. It would be nice to be married. It would be nice to be married to the same man for 50 years. But the fact is that we, as a black people, have to at first admit that we're being genocided. That's a hard first step, especially for black Christians waiting on white Christians to act more like Christians or act more like Christ. However, after we embrace the ugly truth that we're being genocided, it's easier to make some tough decisions about surviving that genocide. An African solution is multiple wives. Polygamy might be something both black and whites need to do to prevent extinction, particularly after this pandemic. Whites like to pretend that blacks are intellectually inferior, but we can do this math. If there's one black man for every 7 black women, then there are 7 days in a week. Guess what, ladies? It's nice to share. We are time sharing, the most valuable real estate on earth. There's a severe shortage of black men in America. At $400 per gram, melanin is more precious than gold, oil, digital currency, and many stock. To put the value of melanin in perspective, 100 pounds of melanin is worth at least $18 million. I'm more than 100 pounds. So how much do you weigh? How much does he weigh? Imagine the kind of palaces black families would be living in if black women synchronized around a man in the name of family unity. Yes, black lawyers and maybe white lawyers too would have to write hellified prenups. But African American women can timeshare a black man because our ancient grandmothers timeshared their African men. Our people never tried to survive with one black woman hoarding a black man all 7 days of a week, especially during that special week of a month. And y'all know which week I'm talking about. That week when you don't let him touch the blood so that he doesn't become a bloodthirsty vampire. If y'all didn't know which week I was talking about. It's our African nature to honor our mothers and our fathers. Those ancestors, those mothers and fathers practiced polygamy. Christianity teaches us that our polygamous ancestors were wrong. In fact, But blacks are facing genocide from white Christians. Forgive me for saying this, black Christians, but I'm now a black Jew. Jesus doesn't have a good track record for saving us from white Christians. However, mathematically and historically, polygamy can prevent black genocide. Ancient Hebrews practiced polygamy. Facts. So forgive me for saying this, black Christians. But maybe our ancestors were right.